Hello guys, my name is Pino. I'll be solving the following differential equations. The first question, we have dy over dx is equals to 3x squared multiplied by y to the power 3. We are going to arrange all the functions of y with the dy on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we arrange all the functions of x with the dx. And after this, we integrate both sides of the equation. On the left hand side, we integrate with respect to y, and on the right hand side, we integrate with respect to x. The first step here is for us to multiply both sides of this equation by dx, because we know that dx and that dx will cancel out each other, and dy will be equals to 3x squared y cubed dx. We have to group this y to the power 3 with that dy on the left hand side. So dy is equals to 3x squared y to the power 3 dx. We divide both sides of this equation by y to the power 3. And that y to the power 3 and that y to the power 3 will cancel out each other. And dy over y to the power 3 will be equals to 3x squared multiplied by dx. From here, we introduce the integral sign both sides of the equation, and we have 1 over y to the power 3, which we can express as y to the power negative 3 dy. What we do on the left hand side, we also have to do on the right hand side. So let's also introduce the integral sign. We integrate the left hand side with respect to y. The integral of y to the power negative 3 will be equals to y to the power negative 3 plus 1 divided by negative 3 plus 1. The integral of 3x squared will be equals to 3 to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. We have plus c. Negative 3 plus 1 is equals to negative 2. 2 plus 1 is equals to 3, so that 3 and that 3 will cancel out each other. We multiply both sides of this equation by negative 2. And that negative 2 and that negative 2 will cancel out each other, and y to the power negative 2 will be equals to, we distribute the negative 2 inside the parentheses. We have negative 2x cubed plus negative 2 multiplied by c. Negative 2c, we can let it be equals to c1. And we have y to the power negative 2, which we can express as 1 divided by y squared. And in the place of that negative 2c, we substitute c1. We can either cross multiply, or we can flip the numerator with the denominator. And when we flip the numerator with the denominator on the left hand side, we also have to do that on the right hand side in order for our equation to remain balanced. From here, let's introduce the square root both sides of the equation. On the left hand side, we have the square root of y squared, and on the right hand side, we have plus or minus the square root of 1 divided by negative 2x cubed plus c1. The square root of y squared is equals to y. So y will be equals to plus or minus 1 divided by the square root of negative 2x cubed plus c1. And this will be our answer for the first question. The second part of our question, we have dy over dx is equals to sin x over y squared. Once again, we arrange all the functions of y with the dy on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we arrange all the functions of x with the dx. And after this, we introduce the integral both sides of the equation. On the left hand side, we integrate with respect to y, and on the right hand side, we integrate with respect to x. The first step here is for us to multiply both sides of the equation by dx, and that dx will cancel out each other. dy will be equal to sin x multiplied by dx over y squared. We multiply both sides of the equation by the y squared, and that y squared and that y squared will cancel out each other, and on the left hand side we have y squared multiplied by dy, and on the right hand side we have sin x multiplied by dx. We introduce the integral sign both sides of the equation. The integral of y squared with respect to y will be equal to y to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1, which is equal to the integral of sin x with respect to x is equal to negative cos x plus c. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. We have to make y the subject of the formula, so we multiply both sides of this equation by positive 3, and 3 and the 3 will cancel out each other. Y to the power 3 will be equals to 3. We distribute it inside the parentheses. 3 multiplied by negative cos x will be equals to negative 3 cos x. 3 multiplied by c will be equals to 3c. We go ahead and let c1 equals to 3c. So in the place of that 3c, let's substitute c1. We introduce the cube root both sides of the equation. On the right hand side we have the cube root of negative 3 cos x plus c1, and the cube root of y to the power 3 will be equals to y. So y will be equals to the cube root of negative 3 cos x plus c1. And this will be our answer for the second question. Finally, we have dy divided by 3x plus x squared x is equals to dx divided by 4y. Once again, we arrange all the functions of y with the dy on the left hand side and all the functions of x on the right hand side with the dx. We introduce the integral sign both sides of the equation. On the left hand side we integrate with respect to y, and on the right hand side we integrate with respect to x. So the first step here is for us to multiply both sides of this equation by the 4y or just the y. Let's multiply by y, and that y will cancel out each other. On the left hand side we have dy multiplied by y divided by 3x plus 6 squared x. We multiply both sides of this equation by 3x plus 6 squared x. We expect that the 3x plus 6 squared x will cancel out with that 3x plus 6 squared x, and we have y multiplied by dy. And on the right hand side we have 1 over 4 multiplied by dx multiplied by 3x plus 6 squared x. We have to now introduce the integral sign both sides of the equation. On the left hand side we have the integral of y dy, and on the right hand side we have the integral of 1 over 4 multiplied by 3x plus 6 squared x the integral of y with respect to y will be equals to y squared divided by 2. The integral of 3x is equals to 3x squared divided by 2. The integral of sec squared x is equals to tan x plus c. We multiply both sides of the equation by 2. And that 2 and that 2 will cancel out each other. Y squared will be equals to 2 multiplied by 1 over 4 is equals to 1 over 2 into 3 over 2x squared plus tan x plus 2c. We can let c1 equals to 2c. From here, we have to introduce the square root both sides of our equation. And when we introduce the square root on the right hand side, we have to introduce plus or minus as well. So we have the square root of 1 over 2 into 3 over 2 x squared plus tan x. And we said that we let c1 is equals to 2c. So in the place of that 2c, we substitute c1. So y will be equals to plus or minus the square root of 1 over 2 into 3 over 2x squared plus tan x plus c1. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you find this video useful, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this YouTube channel with your fellow mates.